Joe, the world of data and lists and things like that is a very complicated world. I know from my own experience, you can get yourself into all sorts of trouble when you're buying these things if you don't know what you're doing. So how would you say you can navigate this world?
Well, you're absolutely right. The data industry can be a minefield, and for someone who isn't clued up, you can waste an awful lot of money on data that could be last verified 10 or even 20 years ago. So it can be very frustrating. Obviously, it's worth looking at the implications of buying bad data, because a lot of people might spend an awful lot of money on getting their promotional and marketing material together and not actually perhaps give due credence to how important it is to have accurate and reliable data for it to go to. There's the implications not only of obviously wasted postage charges, but also the wasted efforts and payments that's gone into producing a glossy brochure, marketing material, but perhaps also the less obvious implication, which might be that you could have a sales team making follow-up calls, and you may think, well, there's no money wasted in someone calling, perhaps a deadline or what have you, but the implications on that person's time and also their positive frame of mind. If you have a sales team who are constantly calling data where they're being fobbed off, they're being having the phone go down because the contact name they're asking for has left the building 2 years ago, it really has an actual psychological implication on the well-being and the positivity of that sales force. And that's enormously important because, as anyone running a sales team will know, giving an opportunity for them to buy into an excuse to be non-productive is just the start of a whole minefield of problems thereafter. In answer to the question, how do you navigate your way through the minefield of data, one of the best things that you can do is actually go right back to grassroots and actually think, well, where does that data come from? Who is generating data within the UK? And the answer to that is there really are only 3 data generators within the UK. What that means is people creating a database of businesses across the UK and talking to them directly. If you ask yourself, I'm in business, who calls me? There really is only 3 answers to that, and that's 118 Information, who power the data that goes behind key media such as the phone book, a whole host of key online directories, and also directory inquiry providers. And in addition, Thomson and Yell. If you actually think about anyone else who calls, it's very unlikely you get a regular phone call, and if you aren't hearing from them, then potentially the customers you want to contact aren't hearing from them either. So anyone else other than those 3 is likely to be a data broker or reseller, and therefore the data provided is likely to be potentially patched together from a variety of sources and may have a question mark over the age or reliability or accuracy of that data.